Yeah.
Looks like we're recording. We got the red light.
Okay. I'm Charlie Burkett, and I'm in Texas after a convention with Thomas Dekker.
In my non-smoking Hyatt Regency hotel room.
Yeah, we said fuck it. So, Thomas, what made you get into acting?
Acting for me, it's a weird old journey because I started acting when I was 5 years old, and it came about sort of accidentally through music. My dad was an opera singer and my mother's a pianist, and we would sing together when I was a little kid, and we sang at this little cafe in LA that's long since shut down, and there happened to be a producer there for a Huggies Pull-Ups diaper commercial who needed a little kid that could sing. And so they hired me, and then through that I got a soap opera, and this plane's bugging me. I got a soap opera, and then I didn't have the sort of pushy, typical, parents that were keeping me in the industry. They just were always like, as long as you like it, we'll keep doing it, and I always liked it. So here I am, 21 years later.
Nice.
I went away. Yeah, that's it.
And, what would you say is your oddest audition, if you can think of one? It sounds like one comes to mind.
Well, I had an audition where I was a kid that I threw up on the casting director.
Nice.
That probably isn't too good an audition.
They kind of frown upon that, I hear.
Yeah, I mean, look, auditions are all they're all weird and terrifying and horrendous. And I had one recently that was really. My joke with my friends has been, we just call everything, when anything bad happens, we say, oh, that was troubling, because I went and did this audition for this really big casting director who I actually admire the hell out of, and I thought I nailed it, and I thought it was great, and I thought I was cool, and then she, emailed my manager, he was sweating, he was shaking, his audition was terrible, it was troubling. So it was troubling has now become my way of describing anything that was bad, so that was a bad audition. I mean, I've had my handful of bad ones, but since the 90s, I'd say they've gotten a little easier.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah, a little nicer now.
Now, you were John Connor, and then it was Sarah Connor Chronicles.
I was.
And did you do any research for John? I mean, I'm sure fans take it really seriously.
Well, I was hooked on John Connor, the character, obviously from Eddie Furlong's performance in T2. As a kid growing up, he's such an iconic little.
He was a badass.
Yeah, well, he's a badass and he's an asshole. So he's really likable, and I loved that character so much. So when it came along, I actually have said this before, but when it came along, I thought, oh fuck, a TV show version. They're just gonna ruin it. It's gonna be terrible. And then I read the script by Josh Friedman, who's now writing Avatar 2, and. He's a genius and a really good guy, and I just fell in love with where he wanted to take the show and what he wanted the show to be about, and so it was really scary at first because it's like you're stepping into the shoes of such an iconic. And I auditioned for it 9 times. I mean, I went in over and over again and testing and all that stuff, and I think the creative powers really wanted me to play John from the minute I went in, but the money. People were a little, I don't know if they were scared of me or intimidated. I don't know what the hell the problem was, but they were kind of fighting me to play that role, and then when it came through, it was just a joy. I loved that show.
You nailed the shit out of the park.
Oh well, thank you very much, man.
You did it justice.
Well, Summer and Lena and everybody, everybody was we all really cared, and still very proud of it. So.
A lot of work, you can tell, went into that.
It was, dude. It was like making a movie every week. I mean, It was like we had 10 to 12 days, I think, per episode, and yet we felt like, we were working like 15 hours a day, and it was great. I mean, I think all actors, when you have great material, you'll chop off your hand if that's what's needed. It's just, you just need good words. So, unlike what I'm speaking right now.
It's been a long day.
It has been a long day. We're very tired.
It's been crazy.
We're just pointing that out to all who are watching.
I think the head count was 5,000 or something. It was like Soylent Green. I mean, you just use your elbows just to maneuver. Felt like I was constantly swimming.
Yeah, these conventions are really fun, but they're also really tiring.
Yeah. And let's see, I already asked that. So, what are you working on now? I saw something with, you know, all these rock and roll people were around.
Yeah, I mean, there's lots of shit going on. I got a TV show starting up that I start shooting the end of this month for Fox. I'm back at Fox.
Yay!
Nice. Great network.
Terrific.
Terrific.
The best.
Just don't cancel things so early.
Please.
So I'm doing a new show called Backstrom with Rainn Wilson from The Office and many other things. He hasn't only been in The Office. And I'm having, it's the creator of Bones.
Oh.
And we're having a great time because I would say it's the first, you know, I do a lot of indies and a lot of sort of random little movies, and it's the first kind of mainstream network gig I've had that is so creatively supportive. It's sort of like we literally had a big meeting and they were like, whatever you want to try with this character, we want to try.
That's nice.
That's amazing.
Freedom.
It's a very rare thing to happen. And so I start shooting that at the end of this month, and they'll be on in the fall. And then obviously I have Fear Clinic coming out, which is what I'm here in Texas right now to promote. And a bunch of other movies coming out. I got a movie called The White City that I did in Israel. That's great. And 2 movies I did in LA. One called EDM, one called Squatters. And they're coming out. My band's album dropped yesterday.
So you're a musician?
Yes.
So you took after your mother?
Yeah. I don't think I had a choice. But my shit's very different because they were obviously highly classical, and classical is still a big part of what inspires me and what I hope to write and make. But my stuff's electronic. It's electronica and sort of experimental stuff. And so my first album came out in '08, I think, under my own name. And now I'm part of an art collective called 0 Times 0. And we released our first album, Equal Zero, yesterday, and now we have a new one coming out in about 2.5 months under the Cutting Edge label. And yeah, so that's been going on, and I'm hopefully gearing up to direct a movie that I wrote too.
Direct?
Right and direct.
Is this your first directing?
No, I directed a feature named Whore.
Oh, lovely.
With, lovely, lyrical lilting title, really. With Megan Fox and Ron Jeremy and Lena Headey and Ruma Willis and Shiloh Fernandez and Lauren Storm. And it was a very, very experimental, no money kind of venture. Before that I did a Dogma 95 movie called Cotton and Wool and a short called Arcane. And those 3 have sort of been doing their thing, whatever, and now I finally maybe actually will get some money that isn't my own to
right on. Yeah,
spend on making a movie. Yeah, it's nice, but it's a bitch to get.
Yeah.
It's an hassle. So, but some good scripts going around right now. So.
Right on, man. Well, what is this TV show about? Backstrom?
Yeah, it's sort of like I don't know if you guys ever watched House, but it's kind of that tone. But instead of the medical world, it's the detective world. So, Rainn plays this really nasty but funny guy who's sort of the best detective in the Portland police service, and I'm his underground informant. I'm an ex-prostitute drug dealer.
Nice.
Yeah, who's now all eyelinered out and mohawk and piercings and all that shit. And but we actually live together, and we have this really good friendship. Just a funky little friendship, and we neither of us really trust anybody, but we trust each other. And you know, so the great thing about the show, which is unique about it, is it's a procedural in the sense that, in the same way that CSI or Without a Trace or Law and Order or whatever, in that there's a different case every week, but ultimately also 50% of the time is also given to the characters' backstory and their development and sort of who they are and what they're about and their relationships. And so yeah, I'm really excited about it. Really excited about it. I have to move back to Vancouver to do it because I did Secret Circle up there. But I think this will be a good time.
Do you like Vancouver?
I do. It's you know, they're not lying. It does rain 24 fucking hours a day.
That's always fun.
But no, great people and actually great food. That's the problem. You get to be like 9,000 pounds when you live up there.
Yeah, it's always fun. As you get older, you can't eat everything you want.
I know, it sucks, right?
Learned that the hard way. Yeah.
No, we were just talking about somebody saying, "Aren't you any diet?" Pissing me off.
Yeah, people suck. They suck.
Yeah, I'm on a diet and I just had fettuccine alfredo, and the problem with that is...
Sue me.
But
I'll do some push-ups. Chill.
Push-ups.
All right. All right, man. Well, thank you very much.
Man,
for,
thank you so
taking the
much.
Time out.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's hang out.
Stay tuned. Will do.
Bye.
Cool, dude.